Welcome students to the next class of History Chapter 2 on the Trail of the Earliest People. Children, let us revise what we learned in the last period. The area between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn is known as tropical land. Hunter-gatherers moved from one place to another, for if they stayed in one place for a longer time, they would have eaten up all the available plant and animal resources. Different fruits were available in different seasons, and animals move from place to place in search of smaller prey or grass. Thus, those who hunted them had to follow their movements. Hunter-gatherers moved from place to place in search of water during summer season and for visiting their relatives and friends. People lived where they found water and good quality stones. Place where stones found and where people made tools was known as factory sites. Place where stones and tools were made and discarded as they were not perfect. People lived in these sites for longer time. These sites were called habitation cum factory sites. The topics which we are going to cover in this part are making stone tools, finding out about fire, a changing environment, names and dates, rock painting and what they tell us, who did what, ostriches in India, a closer look, Hungski. Children, let us start with our first topic, making stone tools. We have learnt in the earlier part that hunter-gatherers used to make tools using stones. They made stone tools using two different techniques. The first one is called stone on stone technique. Here, the pebble from which the tool was to be made, it is called as the core also, was held in one hand, and the other stone, which was used as a hammer, was held in the other hand. This second stone was used to strike off flakes from the first till the required shape was obtained. This second technique is called the pressure flaking. Here we can see the core was placed on a firm surface. The hammer stone was used on a piece of bone or stone that was placed on the core, and then they removed the flakes that could be shaped into tools. Let us move to the next topic, finding about fire. Children, take out page number 14 in your textbook. Map 2, can you see? Identify Kurnool caves in this map. Yes, this is the place where ash was found. So Kurnool caves is the place where ash was found. Thus we can understand that people used fire in this place as the source of light to roast meat or to scare animals. The next topic a changing environment. Around 12,000 years ago, major changes happened in the climate of the world and it became bit warmer conditions. As it got warm, there was a development of grassland and this number of animals that survived on grasses increased. Hunters and gatherers, they had to follow these animals, and slowly as they learned more about the animal behavior, they started herding and rearing animals. These people, for them, fishing was also an important part of their life. The people, they collected grains that grew naturally like the wheat, barley and rice, and slowly they learned about them and then they started to grow them. So the cultivation also started in this changing environment. The early history of man is marked by different stages. In this chapter, we will learn about few stages and the period in our next topic, names and dates. The earliest period is the Paleolithic period. This name points to the importance of the finding of stone tools. During this Paleolithic period was the development of stone tools happened. The word Paleolithic is derived from two Greek words, paleo and lithos. Paleo means old and lithos means stone. Thus, the word says Paleolithic means old stone. In this period, man used stone tools which were rough and unfinished. The Paleolithic period extends from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. It covers 99% of human history. This period is divided into lower, middle and upper Paleolithic. The next period was called Mesolithic. This was a period of change from Old Stone Age to the Middle Stone Age. Man made a number of inventions and discoveries during this period. This Mesolithic period was a time when man made many inventions. This was a period when environmental changes happened around 12,000 years ago to about 10,000 years ago. Some tools which was found during this Mesolithic period were very tiny in size and thus they were called as microliths. The tools of Mesolithic man became smaller and thus they stuck these stones onto the handles of bones or wood to make tools like saw and sickle. They were used for digging the ground and stitching cloths. The next age was the period from about 10,000 years ago. It was called Neolithic. We will learn about this in the next chapter. Our next topic is rock paintings and what they tell us. Children, we paint the walls of a house we live in. In the same way, these earlier people, they lived in caves and they used to paint the walls of these caves. Many examples were found in Madhya Pradesh and southern Uttar Pradesh, where the earlier people painted pictures of wild animals with great accuracy and skill. Let us move to the next topic, who did what? Children, We learned that the earliest people hunted animals, they gathered plant produce, they made stone tools, they even painted on the walls of the caves they lived. But there is no information about who did this work. It is possible that some work was done by men, some work was done by women, or sometimes it is possible that both of them together did all the work. Ostriches in India. Children, have you ever seen an ostrich? Today, we do not find ostriches in India, but ostriches was found in India during the Paleolithic period. Large quantities of ostrich eggshell was found at Patni in Maharashtra. Designs were engraved on some pieces. Even beads were also made out of these eggshells. Children, as we have seen in the previous video, that archaeologists found evidence of hunter-gatherers in Hanski. This is a place where number of Paleolithic sites were found. In some sites in Hanski, a large number of tools used for all sort of activities were found. These sites were habitation cum factory sites. In some smaller sites, there was evidence of tools made. Some of the sites were closer to the spring. Most tools found here was made of locally available limestone. Children, look into the page number 19 in your textbook. Elsewhere, find France in your atlas. The painting below is from a cave in France. This site was discovered by 4 school children more than 100 years ago. Paintings like this were made between 20,000 and 10,000 years ago. Many of these were of animals such as wild horses, aurochs, an older wild form of cattle, bison, woolly rhinoceros, reindeer, and bear, painted in bright colors. These colors were made from minerals like ochre or iron ore and charcoal. It is possible that these paintings were done on ceremonial occasions, or perhaps they were made for special rituals performed by hunters before they went in search of prey. Let us revise what we learned in this chapter. 2 methods of making stone tools. First is the stone on stone. Second is the pressure flaking. Major changes in environment took place around 12,000 years ago, and warmer conditions developed grasslands. This increased the number of animals. Earlier period from 2 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago was called Paleolithic. That is the Old Stone Age. Beginning about 12,000 years ago till about 10,000 years ago is called the Mesolithic. That is the Middle Stone. Stone tools found during Mesolithic period were tiny and was called microliths. Early people used to paint the walls of the caves in which they lived. Ostrich were found in India during Paleolithic period. Beads were made and designs were engraved on some eggshells. In Hanski, tools were made from limestone. Assignment for today: fill in the blanks. 1. In Hanski, tools were made of dash. 2. Tiny stone tools found during Mesolithic period are called dash. 3. Traces of ash were found in dash. 4. The earliest period is called the dash. 5. Designs were engraved on the eggshells of dash. With this, we complete our second chapter. Thank you, children, and take care.